There's a voice inside you that you've tried to ignore. A voice that's too loud to silence, too deep to drown. A voice that doesn't shout, it resonates. It's the voice that whispers when the world goes quiet. This is not where you're meant to stay. 1. Because you know it. You've always known it. That you were born for more than survival. That you were built for more than the routine. That something in you refuses to settle, refuses to shrink, refuses to live this life halfway. And that something, that is destiny, not chance, not luck, not wishful thinking. Destiny. And it has one name carved across it like thunder across the sky. Success. Not just money, not just applause, not just titles and trophies. Real success. The kind that expands you, the kind that frees you, the kind that wakes you up in the morning and fills your lungs with purpose. And here's the truth, no one tells you. Success is not reserved for the chosen few. You don't need to be lucky. You don't need to be born into it. You don't need to wait until the stars align, because the stars have always been inside you. Success is not something you chase. It's something you align with. And alignment starts when you stop trying to fit in and start standing up. When you stop trying to match the world's rhythm and start moving to your own beat. When you stop asking for permission and start giving yourself authority. This is your life. This is your time. And success is not a distant dream, it is your birthright. But a birthright means nothing until you claim it. You must rise. You must refuse to be average. You must decide that you will not live another year asleep in your own story. Because success will not come find you. It waits for you to become the person who demands it. And that version of you, they're already inside, waiting, watching, ready to rise. But to become that version, you must understand one thing. Your mindset is the gate. Your belief is the key. Your discipline is the bridge. And your action is the fuel that will carry you across every excuse, every fear, every setback that's been lying to you for years. No more believing you're not ready. No more shrinking in rooms you were meant to command. No more holding back your gifts because someone else feels small in your presence. If they can't handle your shine, let them step into the shadows. Because you were built for the front lines. You were built to lead. You were built to build. You were built to win. And that's not arrogance. That's awareness. Awareness that you are not here to play it safe. You are here to set fire to everything that says you can't. You are here to break patterns, to burn the blueprint that mediocrity handed you, to become the standard your bloodline's been waiting for. Success is your destiny, not because someone gave you permission, but because you decided to step into it. And that decision changes everything. Not just your results, your identity. Because the moment you declare, I am successful, the world begins to align. Not instantly, but inevitably. Because when you move with belief, when you act with clarity, when you show up like you belong, the universe does not deny the energy of someone who finally remembers who they are. You are not here to survive. You are here to soar. And everything that tells you otherwise, fear, noise, history, none of it has power unless you give it permission. And from this moment forward, permission is revoked. This is your rise. This is your shift. This is the moment you stop walking like the old you and start becoming the version that was buried under doubt, fear, comfort, and conformity. Success is not for the elite. It is for the awake. So wake up and take what's already yours. Because once you wake up, truly wake up, you realize you were never behind. You were just asleep in your own power. You were never broken. You were buried beneath expectation, buried beneath survival, buried beneath the noise of a world that trains you to be normal instead of great. But greatness was never something you had to find. It's something you were born with. And success? It's simply what happens when you stop forgetting that. It's not magic. It's alignment. It's what happens when your mindset stops echoing the doubts of others and starts amplifying the truth within you. When your belief stops waiting for proof and starts acting like faith. When your vision becomes so real, so alive in your spirit, that not even failure can talk you out of it. Because failure isn't the opposite of success. Fear is. And most people don't fail because they weren't capable. They fail because they never gave themselves permission to go all in. They tiptoe toward their dreams asking, what if it doesn't work? But successful people move with a better question. What if it does? What if every fear was just a lie dressed as logic? What if every delay was just discipline in disguise? What if everything you thought disqualified you was actually the reason you'll win? Your pain gave you compassion. Your setbacks gave you strategy. Your failure taught you what strength really means. Success is not for those who've never fallen. It's for those who refuse to stay down. And you, if you're breathing, if you're still here, if you've still got even 1 ounce of fight in you, then success is still your destiny. Not because it's easy, but because you're ready. Ready to stop waiting. Ready to stop talking. Ready to start walking in the direction of the version of you that no longer asks, but acts. That no longer dreams, but does. That no longer waits for someone to choose them, because they've chosen themselves. This is the shift, the inner revolution. The moment where success stops being a concept and becomes your conviction. Not a hope, not a wish, a decision. A decision that says, I will not die with my potential still in me. I will not carry gifts to my grave because I was too afraid to be seen. I will not live one more day building someone else's vision while I starve my own. I am done apologizing for wanting more, because I was never created to play small. I was never meant to blend in. I was not designed for mediocrity. I was destined for success. And now I move like it. Now I think like it. Now I act like it, not someday, not when I'm ready, but now. Because ready isn't a feeling. Ready is a choice. And today, I choose to remember, success is my destiny, and I will live like it every hour, every step, every breath. Because now, the world doesn't need another dreamer. It needs a doer. And I'm done waiting. I'm becoming. Becoming is not glamorous. Becoming is gritty. It's waking up when no one's clapping. It's showing up when the doubts get loud. It's moving forward without applause, without confirmation, without the comfort of certainty. Because success is not granted to those who wait, it's granted to those who endure. And if you want to rise, truly rise, you have to fall in love with the unseen. You have to love the days when no one's watching. You have to embrace the mornings when motivation is gone and discipline is the only thing left in the room with you. You have to train your mind to stay focused when everything else is pulling for your distraction. And that's what separates the almost from the unstoppable. They want the feeling, you build the foundation. They chase the applause, you chase the alignment. They wait to be chosen, you show up like you already are. Because success is not about being discovered. It's about being developed. And you develop in the shadows. You become dangerous in silence. You sharpen in solitude. Because you're not looking for shortcuts. You're building systems. You're crafting habits. You're preparing for impact, not for attention. And that's why you don't move like the rest. You don't scroll for validation. You seek clarity. You don't follow the crowd. You forge the course. You don't echo what's popular. You embody what's powerful. Because now you see your destiny is not something you chase. It's something you align with through repetition. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you move through the world when no one's affirming you. That's where destiny is born. And success? Success is the evidence. Evidence that you made the shift. Evidence that you didn't just dream it, you disciplined it. You weren't just interested, you were committed. And that commitment, that's what moves mountains. That's what silences fear. That's what creates momentum so strong, even your past can't pull you back. Because you're not fighting your past anymore. You're forging your future. And the forge is hot. It burns off the doubt. It melts away the old you. It refines your purpose until nothing's left but clarity. Clarity that says, I'm not doing this for approval. I'm not doing this for likes. I'm not doing this to fit in. I'm doing this because my future deserves more than my excuses. I'm doing this because success isn't optional. It's inevitable. Because I've decided. And when decision meets discipline, destiny bows. And when destiny bows, it doesn't whisper. It roars. Not because it's trying to prove something, but because it's finally coming home. It roars through your posture, through your presence, through every silent morning where you chose focus over distraction, every late night where you chose building over blaming, every breath where you said, not someday, now. That roar is your arrival. But make no mistake, it was never luck. It was never talent alone. It was alignment, grit, repetition, and resolve. And the moment you understand that, you stop waiting for signs. You stop asking for shortcuts. You stop negotiating with your comfort zone like it holds your future hostage. Because now you know, success doesn't come to the one who waits for conditions to be perfect. It comes to the one who starts anyway, who builds the plane while flying it, who gets back up after falling for the 10th time, who stands back up and says, this storm won't break me, it'll build me. Because destiny doesn't require perfection. It requires permission. Permission to outgrow who you've been. Permission to disappoint the old circle. Permission to walk alone if that's the price of elevation. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost you your comfort. It will cost you your distractions. It will cost you your excuses. But the return is freedom. The return is becoming someone so grounded, so aligned, so dangerously focused that success has no choice but to unfold around you. You no longer chase it. You attract it. Because success is not some external validation. It's internal revelation. The revelation that you are no longer the version who waits. You are no longer the one who watches from the sidelines. You are no longer the one who dreams but delays. You are the one who decides and does. You are the one who shows up anyway. You are the one who writes the future with every small, consistent action that no one sees but everyone will feel. And that's how success becomes your default. Not an accident, not a surprise, a system, a state, a destiny you no longer hope for, but one you live from. And when you live from that place, that unshakable identity, that relentless alignment, you become a force the world can't ignore. You no longer introduce yourself as what you do. You walk in the room as who you are because you don't carry potential anymore. You carry proof. You've stopped asking for confidence. You've become it. You've stopped searching for motivation. You've built momentum. You've stopped wishing for change. You've embodied it. That's what makes you different now. You don't wait for doors to open. You build doors. You don't seek opportunity. You create pressure and turn it into power. You don't follow the blueprint. You become the blueprint because you've realized success isn't a finish line. It's a frequency. And you tune into it not by dreaming, but by disciplining yourself to show up as your highest self before the world even knows your name. You win before the win. You believe before the breakthrough. You become before the becoming. And suddenly the world around you starts to reflect what you already knew inside. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to lead. You were never meant to follow the rules. You were meant to rewrite them. You were never meant to settle for realistic. You were meant to redefine what's possible. Because success isn't about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you to shrink, before the doubt, before the delay, before the noise made you forget your fire. That fire, it's still inside you. It never left. It's been waiting. waiting for the moment you stop dimming, waiting for the moment you stop explaining, waiting for the moment you stop performing for the world and start performing for your purpose. And that moment is now, right now. This breath, this beat, this decision, this declaration. I don't need the world to give me permission. I don't need the past to apologize. I don't need the conditions to be perfect because I've decided. And when you decide fully, finally, fiercely, the universe doesn't question it. It responds. That's the law of success. Not attraction without action. Not intention without effort, but identity forged in fire, proven in pressure, lived out in clarity. And from this moment forward, that's who you are. Not just someone who wants it. Someone who walks in it. Not just someone who dreams it. Someone who does it. Because success, it's no longer a someday. It's your identity. It's your standard. It's your destiny. And you're done waiting. You're ready now. So walk like it. Not rushed. Not desperate. But deliberate every step, echoing the truth that you no longer wonder if you're worthy. You know you are. You no longer question if it's possible. You know it is. You no longer need to see the whole path. You become the path. Because success is not about certainty. It's about clarity of decision in the face of uncertainty. It's about planting your flag in the ground of your purpose and saying, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. And I'm willing to become whatever it takes to get there. And that kind of clarity, it builds gravity. People start leaning in. Doors start opening. The world starts rearranging itself around the force of your alignment. And not because you shouted, not because you begged, but because you finally showed up as the version of you the future was waiting for. That version, they don't doubt. They don't delay. They don't dilute. They decide, and that's what shifts your life. Not a secret strategy, not a perfect plan, just a decision backed by discipline, wrapped in fire. The fire of every time you fell but refused to stay down. The fire of every not yet that became a watch me. The fire of every morning you rose when no one saw you and didn't need them to. Because that's what destiny demands. Not noise. Consistency. Not approval. Action. Not hype. Honor. And that's who you are now. Not someone who's trying to figure it out, but someone who walks in the knowing that they were never lost, only led through pressure to meet the next version of greatness. And when you finally meet that version of you, you don't go back. You don't shrink. You don't explain. You just build. And every brick becomes a testament. Every step a sermon. Every breath a reminder. Success is not a destination. It's a decision. And you've made it. You've burned the bridge back to average. You've buried the old story. You've chosen a standard that doesn't break even when you do. And that standard, that identity, that fire, it's not just your strategy. It's your birthright, your calling, your destiny. And now you live like it every hour, every step, every second. Because success isn't coming. It's already here. And it wears your name. It wears your name not because it was gifted, but because you claimed it. Because you earned it in the silence. You paid for it with discipline. You carved it into your DNA with every choice to rise when quitting was easier. You became the evidence. And now the world will feel what you've always known. You were never ordinary. You were never average. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to lead. You were meant to build. You were meant to own your space in this world, not rent it. You don't apologize for that. You stand in it. And you stand in it with strength, with grace, with fire in your chest and peace in your bones. Because this is no longer a dream, it's a lifestyle. No longer a fantasy, it's your frequency. Success doesn't need to feel far anymore. It lives in your morning routine, in your conversations, in your follow-through, in the standard you no longer negotiate with. It lives in how you carry yourself when no one's watching, how you speak when everyone is listening, how you move when the path isn't clear but your purpose is. That's where the great ones separate. That's where destiny becomes undeniable. Not because they were chosen, but because they chose themselves. And now it's your turn. This is the hour. This is the line in the sand. The day you stop walking like a version of you that's still unsure and start moving like someone who remembers who they are. You're not here to play small. You're here to take territory. You're here to walk with the kind of authority that can only come from alignment, the kind of calm that silences rooms without a single word. Because you are no longer waiting to be invited. You are the invitation. And the life you are meant to live, the abundance, the impact, the power, it is not a reward. It is your identity, expressed fully. That's why success feels so right. Not because it inflates your ego, but because it's where your soul finally feels at home. So own it, live it, speak it, breathe it, build it, every day, every breath, every step, not to arrive, but to remember, because this is not just motivation. This is awakening. This is not just another speech. This is your permission slip to go all in, to never look back, to never water down what you were born to set on fire. Because now you know you were not meant to chase success. You were meant to be it. And now you are.